Welcome to Unleashed Podcast, where all are welcome. Now, here is your host, Pup Twigs.
Hey everyone, Pup Twigs here, Orlando, Florida, and joining me all the way from Vancouver, British Columbia is Spyder Pup. How are you?
Bark, bark, bark. Fantastic. Hey,
Awesome.
everybody.
I am so glad that you got to be on here, and I really look forward to being on your all's podcast. I'm going to let you give a plug here and stuff, the name of it and what it's all about.
My podcast?
Yeah, the one you all
Our
have.
our podcast is called The Squirrel Hour, and then we have a subsidiary that my husband chose we record afterwards, which is called Squirrels After Dark. And it, of course, is LGBTQ2IA plus friendly. Everybody's welcome. It's a total inclusivity. You don't need to be a pup or in the community to be on. Anybody can come on the show.
Sweet.
And we started it during the pandemic when people couldn't get together, and it was just four of us getting together every week on our patio or sitting back, having drinks every week. We do it every Sunday, and we were just having so much fun. And we said, you know what? We really just need to put a microphone in front of this and record the wild, stupid conversations that we had and make people laugh. And for 2 years into the podcast, I became a pup. So obviously, I'm incredibly like yourself to be, involved in the pub community
Oh yeah.
and to be and have this podcast. And both of us going on 4 years, which is just blows my mind away that we're both hitting season 4, which is just incredible. And yeah, I mean, we just talk about everything. And God knows, some of the conversations I look back and think, I don't know what went on. Like,
Oh
there,
yeah, I can imagine stuff. I look forward to sometime this year being on your all's podcast. I'm so glad you've been able to join me for mine.
oh,
Uh, and,
absolutely.
and yeah, it's great. Congratulations on the 4 years.
And you as well. Doing good.
Well, let's learn a little bit about Spider Pup. Can you share a little bit about your journey and just what being part of this community means to you?
And I got all these questions, and it's, I thought about everything. I think being part of the LGBT community, for me, it was a struggle for me, which, I'll talk about that on one of your other questions.
Hmm.
But, you know, it's a community for me. And I was never actually very strongly involved, other than the bar scene for most of my life. I
Hmm.
was never really part of that. And it wasn't until I became a pup, honestly, that I really became active in the LGBT community. And it's all about acceptance. It's about inclusivity. It's about family and meeting people. And I think that's what I love the most about the community. And I mean, and again, it's not just local. It's global.
Yeah.
And we try and that's why I try and tell people, I'm like, it's just about the love and the acceptance that we have of each other, and that's what it means to me.
All right. Awesome. Well, I know there's quite a few listeners that check this out each week that I have one drop, but if you could leave the listeners with one message about, love, acceptance, or just being true to yourself, what message would you want to leave them?
Be yourself. You know, I live my life, something my grandmother taught me, and I have tried to leave my life like it, and I like to leave with others.
Hmm.
You're not going to get along with everybody in the world. It's
Yeah.
just that's the world. You can't be friends with everybody. But, you know, live your life to the fullest. We only have one of it. Be kind to each other, and live life. Enjoy it. We only have the one, and just do that every day. It's just share a little bit of life. And again, be yourself and be proud of who you are, and don't let anybody bring that down. Uh, and when the time comes, there's no rush, and there's no right, there's no wrong.
That's
Be
right.
just be who you are.
Yes, yes. And be who you are on your own time frame.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well
Well,
said.
well, what advice would you give someone who's just now starting to embrace their identity?
You know, I would say, well, you already sparked one, that you do it on your own time. There's no time frame. There's no certain amount of time. And as you come out, I found it helpful. Definitely surround yourself with surround yourself with people you trust,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
that's going to accept you. That's going to make the journey a lot more. I mean, once you surround there, as typical as many of us in the LGBTQ community, a lot of us, I know a lot of us in our age especially, but we didn't grow up with a lot of people. We didn't grow up with a lot of people we felt we could trust. And surrounding yourself with those people that you do trust is important. A lot of us have built our own families from our friends, and that's what you want to do.
Hmm.
You want to, surround yourself with those positive people, even if it's that one friend or someone at your work, someone you trust. Start from there.
Yes, yes. Well, let's switch gears and talk a little bit about, events that you've been able to attend over the years. Do you have a favorite memory of an event that you've got to attend over the years?
Honestly, well, there's two big events that stand out for me without a doubt. The first one is my progress, how I became a pup.
Mm.
I went to the my first pup hood, like many of us, was bought on Amazon for the whole
Oh yeah.
$30. I didn't start with this,
Yeah.
and I just woke up one day, and our community at that point in the Vancouver Lower Mainland was disbanded. It fell apart. So for 2 years, there was no pup community at all.
Oh
It was
no.
it was gone. So when I went to look for the community, it didn't exist. And I was like, well, this sucks. I'm like, where do I go? And I bought my hood and I don't know what changed, what set it off, but I went to the Pride Parade with my husband and I just put the hood on and I didn't take it off like I maybe like twice for the whole day. And I wore that thing all day long, walking on the
Hmm.
streets. It was so amazing. And lo and behold, in the community, though, there was no community, but there was a group of pups walking with the furries and a trans group. And they came over and they gave me paws and we booped each other and we met up with them later on. I mean, it changed my life just going there. I don't know where I'd be if I didn't wear that hood and going to
Yes.
that. And the other one was the second year we were actually here, myself and my husband actually participated in a huge parade in our first one, and he actually drove the semi truck, and we went downtown and we built the whole parade over 2 days on a 53-foot float for one of the
Oh man.
bars, and I walked in the parade. So those were definitely two of the coolest moments I've ever had.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome. So,
Mhm.
well, thinking about, there's a lot of misconceptions about our community, but if you had the power, what misconception would you want people out there to understand about our community?
Well, I think the biggest one is that it is not all about sex.
Yeah, I hear that all the time.
Right? Especially in the pup community. You see the pups, and we're very lucky. Where I live, I go shopping. I was shopping at IKEA last week in my pup hood. I wear this thing everywhere. I'm one of the few. I am one of the few pups in our community. There's only about three of us that actually will wear this outside of the bar scene, and it's very accepting. But yeah,
That's awesome.
the community again, it is about community. It's about acceptance. It's that and inclusivity, and I think that's what I try. And again, I'll enjoy the movies, like all the movies and the TV shows over the years. But again, even in television, you typically always only see like the one type of stereotype of a male,
Yeah.
gay. They're always very feminine. They're like they always typically stereotypically the same one. And when people meet me, it's usually months or years before someone actually figures it out. And I always like to tell people, I'm like, do you go up to your friends when you meet somebody and say, "Hi, I'm Steve. I'm straight." They're like, no. I'm like, then why do I need to feel the need to go up to you and say, "Hi, I'm Rick. I'm gay." I
Yes.
I
Yes.
can be my sexuality does not define who I am,
That's right. That's right.
right? And I think that's the thing that I always try and portray to people is just that. I'm a human, like just like you. I mean, just it doesn't define me, you know?
Yeah, that's what we just want to live our life.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
what I'm doing in my own home is not hurting you. So why do you have
Absolutely.
to stick your nose in it?
Absolutely. Yeah, really don't. I don't, you know. Uh,
Yeah. Well, it, I always like to hear the answer to this one, but if you could instantly master, one talent,
So
what would you want to master?
everyone always tells me I'm already funny. I don't try to be, but I would, if I could make my living being a comedian and being a professional comedian, I would do it in a heartbeat. Um,
Yeah.
I always look back and I think about all the joy, and I use his name in my youth workshops, and I always talk about Robin Williams, you
Oh,
know,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
and it's on so many levels because being a youth educator and talking about it. But, that man suffered. And if I could spend my life making people laugh, man, I'd be set. Like, there's nothing better than I get in my life than wearing this hood, wearing my Star Wars helmets, driving in my Jeep with the doors off with my Boba Fett helmet on, driving down the highway. And when I wear this thing driving down, and the tunes are rocking and I'm bopping, the amount of people I just see smile and they give me thumbs up and they're driving by with a video camera and I've had people come back, they're like, "Oh my God, I saw a puppy driving a Jeep. I had to come back and get a picture taken." And comedy is
Yes.
the best thing in the world. It's so easy. It's not hard, but it's just one of the healthiest things for you,
Oh, I agree. We all feel better when we laugh.
right? It's so
Yeah.
great.
Oh, yeah.
I laugh a lot.
Well, yeah, I try to as well, of course. So, what's been one of your proudest, most affirming moments?
Oh, I didn't hear any sound.
Oh, you didn't hear anything?
Nope.
Oh,
I got
what's
proudest.
been one of your most proudest, affirming moments out there?
I mean, God, I've got a lot of things that I'm very proud of, but without a doubt, the number one thing that recently, over 3 years ago, when I decided to get back into volunteering, uh,
Mm-hmm.
we raised money for Jeep community for several years, raising over a couple of million for breast cancer, and
Wow.
but yeah, that was an amazing experience. But definitely, when I decided to get back into the game, I wanted to become a youth educator, and I looked online and I said, I want to get back and I want to give back because at the age of 28, I had an attempted suicide. Uh, and that changed my life completely. That's
Mm-hmm.
something else I could talk about. But I decided to go in and I wanted to become an educator, but I decided to reach the youth because when I was young, by the time I became an adult, the damage was already done. And it took
Yeah. Oh,
twice as
yes.
long to heal because I didn't know where to go. So reaching youth um, and teaching them the importance of mental health and being proud and showing them where to go and giving them the tools that are necessary and how to recover,
Yeah.
I think was far more. And I'm going into my third year, and with the support of my company, which I'm very proud of, they helped me actually become. Have you ever heard of Assist?
I don't think I have, huh?
Right? So Assist is a worldwide program, and it is assisted suicide intervention training. So it's recognized around the world. So if I was even in, if I was down in Orlando and I was driving, say, I'm going over the bridge and I saw somebody, you know, contemplating taking their own life, I now have the skills and training to be able to just, pull over, stop, and talk to that person. And I've learned now what's the best way and hopefully be able to save their life. At
Oh,
least get
wow.
them down from the bridge to get them the help they need. And that final step for me was a part of that. And now I'm, you know, and I love to bring that also to the LGBT community and the pup community, especially. So, I mean, I get a lot of people. I spread that out and I let everybody know, if you're going down, if there's something or even somebody you know, let me know. And getting
Mm-hmm.
qualified to
Mm-hmm.
that was just something it was a dream, and I'm glad it finally came through.
Oh, yeah, that's amazing. So, well, when I first came up with this next question, I was putting maybe it was something in the past, but now I'm just if you have a celebrity crush, I want to know who it is. It doesn't matter if it's a past crush or a one right now. Who
Well,
who is your celebrity crush?
honestly, well, my first crush was Jonathan Brandis from Sequest DSV.
Okay.
As a kid, he was my first crush, without a doubt. Now, you know, it's a different story right now. If I don't have a huge crush on a lot of people. I mean, there's a lot of X-Tube, and Twitter hot ones, but but no, I've never been a crush one. He was a great one as a kid, but as far as a an ongoing one, um,
Uh-huh.
I don't really have. It's never been my thing to have a big crush on a lot of people. I know a lot of people do, but yeah, he was my first one, and I mean the second one. Growing up, for me being a Star Trek fan, it was always Wesley Crusher. And I
Okay.
still think he's really sexy today. But I guess those are the two big ones for me.
Okay. And that works. Well, I know we've talked a lot about community and what does community mean to you? I know it means family for a lot of us, but what
hmm
does it mean to you and where do you go out and find your family?
I found my family in the pup community,
Okay.
without a doubt. Again, me and my husband have been down in Vancouver for about 15 years. And until I became a pup, we actually didn't have any close friends within the LGBT community because I spend a lot of my time, again, I'm out in the bush, I'm out camping, I'm out shooting, I'm
Mm-hmm.
out jeeping. And yeah, I just never found it. I just never really got along with a lot of people within the community because a lot of them are, they're in the city and they don't go out. And it was really tough for us. But yeah, when I became a pup, my world just expanded.
Just
I
all
mean, I think
changed.
when we have a party and a get together, I have more pups than I do my human friends now,
Us too, yes.
right? And again, globally, look at us meeting.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
You know, I never would have met you if I was involved in the pup community. The chances of us crossing paths, I mean, obviously, was probably not going to happen. And yeah, now it's crazy. I mean, if I go to a new city, wherever I go, I'm going to reach out and I'm going to go to the pup group and find it and say, "Hey, I'm coming down. When's your event?" And I'd love to meet some, make new friends. And it's a beautiful community, and I'm so proud to be blessed to be part of it now.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. So, well, one thing I didn't find out about you here or when we got to meet when you were here in Orlando, but do you
Yeah.
sing at all?
No, I
That is a
I
definite no like me.
no, I was karaoke shamed my first time ever going to, because remember, I never went to a gay bar. And the first
Yeah.
time I went to a bar, I got in the cab, and when the driver said to me, "Oh, you're going to the Roost," which was the gay bar at the time, I nearly jumped out of the cab because I was so mortified that he knew where I was going. I
Oh
got
no.
there, I did karaoke, and I was karaoke shamed by the meanest drag queens in Edmonton. They were just mean.
Oh man. Well, you're like me because I don't even sing in the shower.
Me neither. No.
If you had let's just say a hype song, what would that be?
I actually have two.
Okay.
And it's funny because some people would think they're not exactly hype songs, but the song, it reminds me of my grandmother, which I live my life by because she gave everything to everybody in her whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And it just makes me feel good is Louis Armstrong, What a Wonderful World.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, it's just a song that projects love and acceptance. I love it, and what the world could be. And there's my husband coming in. You want to come say hi to Pup Twigs?
Come
You'll be
on.
on the net. You'll be on the Pride episode, but everybody knows. I'm sure you can stick your head around the corner and say hello.
Edit out my hair.
Edit out your hair. There you go. There you
Oh,
go. And that's my loving and accepting husband for your viewers. And the second one for me is Stand By Me. And
Oh,
that reminds me of my best friend when he was diagnosed with cancer in grade 3. And I spent the majority of my childhood at the St. John's Children's Hospital putting on puppet shows for sick children, even when I was in grades 4 and 5. And
wow.
grade 6, he passed away from cancer. So I was touched by it. And So I've been volunteering and spending most of my life in some manner, either volunteering or helping people since I was
Hmm.
like in grade 3 and 4. It's been insane when I look back. So both of those songs to me, I hear them
And
and it just brings back good memories,
and I agree because I love both of them as well and stuff. So yeah, I can agree
right?
with that. So well, on a more serious note, what kind of challenges have you faced, you know, in your time with the community, and how have you been able to overcome them?
Well, I'll tell you, my biggest one that came over me as I do my training, I now know what I faced is called, have you ever heard self-stigma?
Hmm.
Right? That's what I faced. Growing up, looking at myself in the mirror for my entire life, not just the community, I hated myself. I how growing up in the 80s, when I started to become an adulthood, looking at that thinking, you know, how can I like working on cars? How can I like going to the range? How can I
Yeah,
enjoy doing all the things I do, but still like guys?
yeah,
And I never suffered any hate growing up. I never suffered any negativity in the Jeep community that I got involved in. Any of my jobs, I nothing. Everything that I I dealt with, it was all looking because society, I felt like I had to be a certain way, and
yeah.
I didn't like me. And that, without a doubt, was the hardest challenge to come over. That's what led me to my assisted suicide at the age of 28.
Wow.
Um, and I survived, obviously,
Hmm.
but since that day, it changed my life, and I use it as a strength because after that day, I looked at it and I said, you know what? If you don't, I gotta like me, and I am who I am. I'm going to accept me, and if nobody likes me for who I am, that's that's their problem. And my life
Yeah,
changed
exactly.
after 28. And since that day, I've used it as a strength. And people always ask me, how can you talk about it? I'm like, because it's a strength for me. I survived and it changed my
Right.
life. And my life has been nothing but positivity since.
Sweet. That's always good to hear.
Right?
Well, last question is I want to find out who your ultimate, icon or role model is out there.
There was a lot growing up, but honestly, I think my one that I still love, and I think I just love him to death. I still love you know, like Nathan Lane. I I just
Oh,
and
no, yes.
I love him. And again, he's so comedic, and I think that's why I love him so much. He's been in so many roles, and he's always been himself. He's never not been him. He's always portrayed himself, and again, his positive energy, his laughter. I've ever since the moment I first seen him in anything,
Hmm.
I just love him, and I think he portrays the community, and he's just he's just funny. And again, it comes back to the comedy, how much I love it. And nothing he's been in. Every time I see him, I just start laughing. If I hear his voice, I just start laughing.
Oh yeah, yeah. That voice, you know who it is as soon as he opens his mouth.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Oh God, I'd love to meet him. Be funny.
Well, if someone happens to see you on this podcast and wants to reach out to you, how is the best way for them to get in touch?
Honestly, the easiest way, like if you go, there's so many. Like if you go to the Linktree, we all have a,
Hmm.
a Linktree account. If you go to Linktree account and look up the Squirrel Hour, that's the biggest one because you go to Linktree and look that up. It's going to have, of course, all the links on there. It's got our YouTube, it's got our Instagram, it's got contacts, and through any of those, you can reach out. The emails, it's the
Okay.
squirrel. Everything is through there. So if you just literally look up Linktree or Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, you just look up the Squirrel Hour. You're gonna find us pretty easy.
Okay, awesome. Well, any last words before we log off here?
It, th- all I've got for everybody is the same thing. Be yourself. Be kind to others. It's not hard. Don't ever be mean to anybody. People make mistakes. We all do.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But we're not perfect. But don't be mean to everybody. And at the same time, when you're coming out, like you touched on it, there's no time limit. Come out when you're own. It's your decision, and do it on your own time.
That's right. That's
Don't
right.
feel rushed.
Well, Spider Pup, it's been awesome having you on here.
Thank you.
I could listen to you talk all afternoon, but I know we have to end it.
Well, we can always talk another time off the podcast. That's the wonderful
Oh,
thing about Zoom meetings.
you're exactly right. Anytime. So,
You know what? I'm going to join you for. You should join us for a happy hour, even if it's a non-podcast day. You're more than welcome. So we just sit here. You can sit you up on the computer and you can chat and
oh, I would do that. I'll get a beer in my hand and we'll go.
absolutely. I'll set that up. Everyone would love that. It'd be so much fun.
All right. Well, listen, you take care, stay warm, and we'll talk to you again soon.
All right. All right. Bark, 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 bark.